bienvenidos, vamos a comenzar, vamos a terminar en este caso el acto 4 de Fontaine. Y bueno, a ver qué se cuece, que nos quedamos súper intrigados por qué nos iba a enseñar Río y cómo iba a acabar esto. Me estabais diciendo que se venían cosas chidas, así que no me voy a entretener y vamos a darle. Antes de nada, deciros que tenéis el link en la descripción de mi canal de Discord por si queréis uniros, y de mi canal de Twitch, donde ahora mismo estamos en directo. Y ahora sí que sí, let's go. YouTube, por favor, ayuda a Dani, nos tiene secuestrados en su sótano y no obliga a pagarle el wifi, ¿sabes? Venga, vámonos. A ver qué nos va a enseñar el Río. Equizo. A ver qué quiere enseñarnos el Río. Lo que me enseñe, yo no tengo ningún problema, ¿eh? Si Río me quiere enseñar lo que quiera, yo no tengo problemas.
Too slow. Stand on the central plate.
Oh.
Wait, is there a secret
Río te la va a
mechanism
enseñar.
Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge
De sonido y eso bien, ¿verdad?
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Ay, ahora no puedo cambiar, ahora no puedo bajarle las voces. Bueno, pues nada. ¿Qué le vamos a hacer? Espérate. Yo lo escucho más fuerte que la voz de Dani. Espérate.
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
¿Ahora mejor?
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look.
Vale. Saber.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
Eso que iba a preguntar.
Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, the temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of primordial seawater?
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising.
Si nunca se había mezclado, ahora se está mezclando. ¿Entiendes todo sin leer por tu perfecto inglés? No, ni de coña.
Yes, that's very likely.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
Muy fácil. Que se vayan a Sumero. Todo solucionado, ¿no? Que también...
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the Primordial Sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished.
Vale.
The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent, and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them, and said,
Esto lo voy a leer con más vera, o sea, con más... con conciencia. Sinceramente, es simplemente que la gente de Fontaine olvidó hace mucho tiempo el secreto de esta área prohibida, hasta que yo volví a investigarlo. El fuerte Merópide no tiene un fundador como tal. Los rumores en torno a él nos han llegado a través de las personas que solían vivir aquí. Cuando Egeria, la anterior arconte Hidro, gobernaba Fontaine, los criminales de nuestra nación eran exiliados. La gente de entonces lo expulsaba con una jauría de lobos que expulsa a uno de sus integrantes. Nadie se compadecía de los criminales, se los exiliaron para un marino donde pasaban frío, sufrían y encontraban todo tipo de adversidades. Algunas personas empezaron a arrepentirse y rezaron al arconte Hidro para que hicieran algo. Ella sintió pena por sus plegarias y les dijo: protejan mi secreto en el fondo marino. Vale, entendí.
And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea
lo que
and
dice.
began to build a fortress.
Es que un poquito hay que ponerse en el contexto pasado y todo ese rollo.
As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long,
iba a preguntar desde cuándo es Furina arconte, pero no quiero saberlo. Mejor no saberlo porque seguro que es spoiler.
And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficient. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says.
If this gate fails,
then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy.
O sea, no creo la profecía, pero se está cumpliendo todo. O sea, te obligan a que te las creas.
Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something.
Uy, vayamos a otro sitio y hay algo que quiero enseñarles. Enséñame. Enséñame lo que quieras, Rio.
This is it.
Uy, estos dos son los que estaban en el médico con la Wing.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone. Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
Pero yo soy especial.
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
Literalmente.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin.
Edwin?
I trust that you've heard of Edwin.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head, but you're not a local, so I guess it's possible for you...
Edwin's main areas of research were archeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Merripit?
What a lovely idea.
Gotta admit,
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not.
if I dated her, I'd officially be better than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit.
Uy, que me enseña un truquito.
And here you go.
Barco.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going...
How much do you know about Fontainian history?
Fatal.
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria.
Memoria.
To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty.
Ya llegó a la parte donde Ryo le confiesa que es ninfómano. ¿Cuándo es eso?
According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a wreck. All right, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good.
No me hacía
Come on, I'll
preguntarte
take you
nada.
back.
El fortuna es más importante de lo que te dicen aquí. A saber qué pasó.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh, thank Thank you so much.
So much y todo.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those three as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
En resumen, el arca de Noé.
Great.
Lo voy a pensar lo primero que se
I
me va a
look
pasar por
forward
la
to what happens
cabeza.
next.
Ok. ¿A dónde nos vamos? Vuelve a la enfermería. Perfecto.
We're back!
We're back.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley? Always drinking
Tan
tea.
feo que yo. Soy como el Duque y la Lynette.
Huh. Actually, not while I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and...
Must have been Risley and Seishween.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so...
I really can't make sense of this place.
Norma, hijo. Sí, está vivito de milagro.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah,
Eso cambiaré de
I
tema,
took the
sí,
time
sí.
to rest, so I'm feeling...
Nobody else is around, and Miss Seishween is also busy with something.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost
Ooh, he's good. He got that
¿En
right on the
serio?
first...
That's our Linny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored... I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning,
Oye, pero ¿dónde
he
está
probably
Nobil?
ignored us at
O
first
sea,
because he was
mucho
hoping we
todo,
could find
pero ¿dónde
Master
está
Child
Nobil?
for him. What's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the...
You're super smart.
Thanks so
Ahora no
much.
sé si son
Then
sarcásticas o
finally, there's
literalmente
the last question.
tienes razón el Disney.
If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the change. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father... I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
¿En serio se lo va a contar todo? ¿Cómo se nota que esta señora se va a poner por parte de los
I
Fatui?
can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said...
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your... The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Pobrecito Fremine.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to...
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Tiene hambre. ¿Cómo no? Qué raro. Una
Paimon...
tripa de pan.
Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done so much.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys...
Entonces, con su permiso. Tampoco se ha esmerado mucho. La Paimon tampoco se ha esmerado mucho,
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served in the coupon cafeteria.
Y cuando hablan
Come
la
on,
mega
let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler and Paimon, over here. Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sigewin?
Hombre, tendrá que comer la pobre, ¿no?
And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well.
Florina está en todos lados, tío. Qué reina.
Huh. You're right. What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever
Ay,
you
ay, ay,
want.
no le digas eso a Paimon.
Me too. Don't forget Paimon.
No le digas eso a Paimon porque...
No problem. Just leave it.
Que te arruina. ¿Cómo? Ay, que no había...
So delicious.
So delicious.
Paimon's so happy. Paimon wants to feast like this every day.
Venga, Paimon, como si no comiera bien todos los días a mi cosa, que por eso estoy pobre.
Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious. I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved. Sigewin, do you do this to help your patients?
Yo no
or
sé
to
ya si
better
la
understand human
Sigewin
beings?
médico, cocinera, psicóloga, porque se da cuenta de todo, tío.
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to do. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like
Será
an older
pequeñita
sister.
como si era fuera muy grande, ¿sabes?
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear. Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny? Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick
Es
of
que Clorinda
time.
es Jesucristo.
His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once
Estoy
Miss
segura,
Clorand had
me
returned.
da el presentimiento de que Clorinda todavía no nos ha enseñado todo su potencial. Espero que nos
And
lo
I was
enseñe.
keeping an eye on Mr. Linney as well.
Porque esa
We
señora...
had to press him, but we
is
couldn't allow
God.
him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought it. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's start. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come
Esa
down more
mujer con
often, too.
Nubilet que tiene, nos lo explicará en algún momento la relación de esa señora con Nubilet porque está todo el día con Nubilet en la cabeza. Este sitio es oscuro y está hecho un caos, creo que a él le gustaría. ¿Estamos hablando del mismo Nubilet?
Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very
Nubilet
hard.
no tiene mucha pinta de que le guste este tipo de sitios, la verdad. Uy, que me he muerto, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué se me ha muerto? ¡Ah, de la caída! ¿En serio? Qué fuerte me parece, o sea, me he tirado. Ha salido la conversación. Ah, no, pero el Troti se tiene que morir. Si no, no se queda el juego tranquilo. Se te murió por tradición, es obvio.
Clorand!
Ah, it's you two.
How's dinner?
It's all right. Miss Sigewin really put in a lot of effort.
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fremine too!
Oh, it was child's play.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs.
Es que hace muchísimas cosas esta mujer.
Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sigewin and the Duke?
Miss Sigewin was with you.
Qué
And the
raro
Duke
que la
has business
conversación
of his
sea
own.
así, ¿no? No sé.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First,
First time in a long time.
in the past. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here. Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run
A ver, no he entendido nada. O sea, por la misión no era hablar con ella. He ido a hablar con ella por la cara. O sea, no me he dado cuenta. O sea, he ido inconscientemente a hablar con ella. ¿Hablar con ella era parte de la misión? Al haberlo por la cara... y tenía sonido. Qué raro me ha sido eso, ¿no? El cara ya lo volvió hobby al morirse. Hablar con ella era opcional. Ah, no, yo he ido directamente, la he visto y he ido a hablar con ella. Me he rayado, la verdad. ¿Qué más habéis dicho? La misión de Arconte no te lo decían, creo que era en las misiones de mundo Fontaine. El escala ya lo volvió. Eso, hablar con ella era opcional. No era obligatorio hablar con ella. Yo he ido por la cara, pero había sonido. Se me ha hecho raro, Qué manía con mandarnos a dormir,
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you
La Paimon roncando, qué fan soy.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Hasta que fan soy ahora mismo.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
¿Qué cojones está pasando ahora mismo? La voice actor de Paimon en inglés puede ser más god. O sea, sí soy. Soy tan fan de Paimon en inglés. ¿Qué ha pasado, tío?
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone
Sí, la
terribly
musiquita me
wrong
está
just
poniendo muy
now.
nerviosa. Esto
His Grace
parece
is telling everyone to evacuate
una
and get out of
catástrofe o
here.
algo, seguro. Si vamos a evacuar, ha pasado algo, tío.
Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that?
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you?
We
You
have to
don't
go
have
find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey, hey! Be careful!
¿Y esto no evacúan? Madre mía.
Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer,
Hostia, me estoy poniendo muy nerviosa ahora mismo, Muy nerviosa. Voy que me estoy poniendo muy nerviosa, tía. Ah, no, te quito la puerta.
Too slow.
Hoy la música. Hoy la música. ¿Vio?
They're here.
¿Quién?
Just like I said.
Ay, Clorinde, es que eres Jesucristo, tía. ¿Qué está pasando?
You're just in
¿Qué
time.
está pasando?
But be ready to run.
Qué maravilla de hombre. Hostia. Esto lo vimos en el tráiler, ¿no? Hace algo así parecido. Yo no me di cuenta de lo que era.
3, 2, 1.
¡Dale, Río!
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
¡Tremenda dupla! ¡Tremenda dupla! ¡Me encanta! ¡Qué maravilla! Puro cine, ¿eh? ¡Puro cine! Me ha encantado. O sea, una de las animaciones que más me ha gustado, ¿eh? O sea, la música, el brillo, la clorinde, todo. Bueno, seguimos, perdón.
I need you to head to the opera house immediately. Furina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Furina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Furina se va a reunir con Arlequino. Tienes que protegerla. No dejes que pase mucho tiempo solas con ella.
Will do. You have my sincerest...
¿Que no vamos a ir? ¿Que no vamos nosotros? ¿Ahí abajo? ¿Nosotros nos vamos con Furina? Sí, purísimo cine. Entre la cinemática del Neuvillette y esta ahora, estoy volviendo loquísima. Y no te imaginas lo que se viene en el próximo acto, Dios.
Look, there are a ton of Factilian Palais Mermonia people.
Tío, no me metas con esa
Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained.
Tremenda cinemática y cara, ya se habría ahogado, no porque vuela.
But it would be most appreciated
Mira,
if you
su
could
señoría ya la había puesto al corriente. Esta reunión debería ser pacífica. Debería ser pacífica. Pero aún así, por favor, protejan al conde Furina. O sea, me acaban de tirar todo el muerto encima. Qué bien, oye. Qué bien, oye. Yo no sé qué me espero de aquí, sinceramente. O sea, esta reunión me tiene muy nerviosa. Esta reunión yo no sé cómo va a salir. No, es que Fontaine me tiene dando volteretas, sinceramente. En Fontaine están pasando cosas que yo no me esperaba que iban a ocurrir en Genshin en general.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Furina mentioned.
Of course, of course. How could
Furina está cagada, tío.
I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion...
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I've
already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Furina and I do things.
Es que Arlequino
You see, we actually recently agreed
impone.
to get together for
O
tea.
sea,
when
¿estáis
we
viendo
have
a tremenda mujer?
See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Furina simply adores.
There are only 16 slices sold every...
Qué lista es la Traveler, tío, en serio.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was...
La de cosa que tiene que saber la Traveler no nos la cuenta.
Share a taste in desserts with Furina.
Tío, pero ¿y dónde está Novil? O sea, yo estoy flipando en colores ahora mismo. Hemos cambiado de tema. Hemos hecho una pila de cosas, estamos ocurriendo cosas muy raras, pero Novil no aparece. Yo estoy flipando. Veo que Novil tenía razón cuando dijo que tienes unos gustos parecidos a los míos, los de Furina. ¿Por qué diría eso, Novil? Novil ya murió de 5 tiros de clorín en el tarra. Sale más adelante, no te preocupes, vale. Esta charla es muy importante, vale. Aún hay muchos secretos, Dani, tú sigues. Sí, sigo, tranquilo. Ay, ¿qué habéis dicho? Te dice que venía sin todavía haberle preguntado si podía ir. Incluso la leyenda de Fontaine son cine. Se te olvidó 20 con los fatos y ellos no respetan. Murió, sí, claro.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His
Menos mal que la Traveler es súper inteligente y está intentando darse cuenta de todo, ¿eh?
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Furina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
¿Cómo me gustaría que en situaciones así la Traveler hablara? ¿Sabes lo que impondría? En plan, decirle al Arlequino, he averiguado cierta información sobre lo ocurrido con Novil. Plan, quedaría potente. Pero así no, tío. Que hable.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier, as you well know.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry.
Paimon, no lo sabes.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Exacto, Paimon, no lo sabes.
Because we found
Calla la boca, Paimon, siempre está cagando esa señora, tío.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate. Hold on. The water in the teacup.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Furina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
Uy, 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 uy. ¡Ay, ay, 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 ay! ¡Que están abajo! ¡Ay! ¡Ay, que se une!
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Qué bien hechas estas animaciones de Fontaine, Dios mío.
Sounds about right.
ese hombre.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day. This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe.
Este hombre es Jesucristo. ¿Su símbolo?
This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Este hombre, es que... ¡Ah! Madre mía, qué bien está. Las animaciones de Fontaine, es una locura. Teorías de por qué puede dominar así el mal primigenio. De verdad que no tengo ni idea. O sea, yo lo que se me pasó por la cabeza literalmente fue que fuera él el arconte. Es lo único que se me ha pasado por la cabeza. Literalmente no tengo ni idea de nada. O sea, lo único que se me pasa por la cabeza es que él sea arconte, algo así, en vez de Furina, algo así. No sé el por qué ni cómo. Porque para controlar el elemento, supongo, de Fontaine, él tiene que ser muy importante. Es que no otra de eso no le veo por ahora. Ojalá no den a alguien como el tremendo novio nada. Si es que se le puede llamar hombre, guiño guiño. Sí, porque se supone que no es humano. Así que entonces lo del arconte ya no tendría sentido. A ver, que no es porque vosotros me hayáis dicho eso, es que él dice en una parte. Así que los humanos no sé qué, como dando a entender que él no lo es. A ver, increíble novelet y pensar que varios lo esquiparon en su salida y luego se arrepintieron. O sea, ¿quién ha hecho eso? Y no ves las animaciones de Naldan. Ay, Dios. El arconteada. Y aún así iría por Nahida. En la animación de lucha, el cargado de novelet está bien hecha y se me en los enemigos. Y con su chorro está tan potente que en meta. Sí, lo sé. Sé que BUENOOO está aquí en el meta. Bueno, seguimos pues.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed.
Dani, dale normal en el siguiente acto, te respondo todo literal. Vale, te responde todo literal. Ya lo han mencionado antes en un sitio de cierta forma, así que podrías saberlo. A ver. A ver. No sé, voy a ser sincera, ¿vale? Lo otro que se me ocurre es que cuando estuvimos leyendo el libro del Sol y la Luna, se estuvo hablando del dragón hidro. Ese es raro. El dragón ese en plan... Lo primero... O sea, no me digáis ni que sí ni que no, ¿vale? Yo solo digo lo que he podido pillar que a lo mejor pueda ser. Los ojos no son de humano, pero podría ser de gato. Pero claro, un gato no tendría sentido. Tiene que ser algo más potente. Algo así como un dragón. Tendría sentido. Ahora, estuvimos leyendo el libro del Sol y la Luna. Así que estuvieron hablando del dragón hidro. Vale, que son los iniciales antes de los arcontes. Vale, que tendría Nubilet más años que Zhongli. Sí, que me gustaría. Entonces los papuchos muy viejos también. Entonces, se dijo, cuando estuvimos viendo lo del Sol y la Luna, que se rumoreaba antes de Fontaine que el dragón hidro podía ser Kokomi por ciertas cosas. ¿Vale? Entonces, y otra vez, luego, después de decir eso, me dijisteis que por algo que pasa en Fontaine, se confirmó que Kokomi no era el dragón hidro. Es decir, que por los ojos, por esa mini teoría que se confirma en Fontaine y que me hicisteis leer el libro y todavía no he hecho la segunda legendaria de Nahida, si no hubiera tenido más pistas todavía, pues eso. Pero en la legendaria de Nahida se hablan de los dragones. Es que yo no pude terminar la segunda legendaria de Nahida porque en la mitad, un poco más de la mitad, a ella le apetecía ir a la cima, entonces nada. No pudimos terminarla, pero no me acuerdo si fuimos a la cima por algo del dragón dentro, algo así. Entonces hay tema de dragones, así que nada. Mi teoría es o que Neuvillet es el dragón ese hidro y tiene más años que Oju, o es el arconte realmente y no sé por qué Furina lo es. O sea, Furina no lo sería. Es mi única teoría, porque tampoco tiene visión, pero no sé. Una paranoia mental porque podría tener la gnosis de Furina y Furina se pone demasiado en él. O sea, se apoya demasiado en él como si Neuvillet fuera superior a Furina o tuviera más poder que Furina. Eso es mi teoría. Creo que hay diferencia entre un dragón primordial. Sí, bueno, el dragón inicial hidro. Los que iban antes de los arcontes. Es que estoy leyendo en los libros. Venga, a ver. Yo creo que es un descendido. Bueno, también es posible, porque no es humano. Humano no es. Eso está más que claro. Podría ser uno de los descendidos que también se habló hace poco. Entonces ya me estás intentando comer la cabeza que fuera de otra cosa. Y los ojos raros, pues que también este tío mira los ojos a saber de dónde son. Los ojos no son no, creo que no. Todas las naciones tienen dragones. De hecho, lo mencionaron mucho, pero no prestaste atención. Lo mencionaron en un sitio de cierta forma, así que podría saberlo. No hay spoiler, gente. Todas las naciones tienen dragones elementales, así que eso no es prueba. Ya veremos avance y él mismo le responderá a todas las dudas. Gente, ¿ya hice la legendaria de Neuvillet? No, todavía no. Te gustan demasiado mayores. Los ojos de Genshin son un poco raros. No solo es algo de Neuvi. Ya. Dani, paciencia, todo se responderá. Vale, pues ya está, ya os he tirado ahí todo el dentro. Creo que hay diferencia entre el dragón y el primordial. Dani, en el siguiente acto te responden eso. Vale, sigamos viendo, Dani. Sigue todas tus dudas, se responderán. Vale. Pero no te acuerdas, Inazuma, que ya tuvo que hacer... Tienes razón a los Shogun porque se le botó la canica. No, creo que era Furina porque creo que esconde su poder para un futuro peligro. Puede ser un sobreviviente de Caenria. No empecemos ahora con Caenria porque ahora me vais a fumar más dentro de lo que ya tengo fumado en mi cabeza. Así que... Pero es que si fuera un sobreviviente de Caenria no tiene sentido el poder hidro que este hombre tiene encima. Tiene que ver con el hidro porque este hombre tiene demasiado poder y acaba de manejar así el mar primordial, el mar primogénico, ese extraño.
I win this bet.
Ya me callo ya.
Roll me a present.
Madre mía.
Very well.
Uy, que le den un regalo.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be...
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codicy.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld.
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Marmonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
Uy.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Furina,
que muy
as the
Hydro casita,
Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed.
What are you trying to say?
Lo que no sé es por qué todavía no hemos visto Furina pelo corto. Pero bueno, ya supongo que lo sabes.
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy, yet here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even but you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree
a mí
you have
Arlequino
been.
me habla así
From the
y lloro.
very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
Lloro, lloro.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation
está poniendo su
and
trece,
stop
Furina.
doubting the wisdom of the god.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now.
Then I ask you, Miss Furina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will...
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential?
An emergency response plan?
Tío, pero ¿por qué le hace eso Furina, tío? En serio.
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Furina, what is the purpose of your oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the...
The oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for some... I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the oratrice in the opera house. You see, even just getting... But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on? Oh, great. Oh, right. I almost forgot.
Aquí estoy segura que todo el mundo estaba del lado de Arlequino. Porque es que Furina, a simple vista... Tía, es que para pensar, tía, por favor, haz algo. ¿Qué te pasa? ¡Pabila! Por favor. Pero tendrá sus razones, tío. Pero no sé. Es que tiene unos comportamientos muy extraños que no son lógicos de una persona normal. A ver, que sé que no es una persona normal, que es un arconte, una diosa y ese tipo de rollo, pero estoy segura que algo raro tiene. Queremos Arlequino. Ya, por eso.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it as...
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Furina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side.
¿Pero lo será?
Oh, very well.
Ya da ni
Let's stop
duda.
that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourself.
Que es verdad, se anda con secretitos, con todo, no nos dicen la realidad, pero vamos, es normal, esta señora que le van a contar, si es que ha venido de gratis y siempre al final acabamos metiendo en todo. Pero bueno, yo que como soy muy cotilla, quiero saber todo, pues... Cuando hay salseo de verdad no nos meten, tío.
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a
Cuando
few
no me interesa me meten de lleno.
Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the
Como
highest
nos
quality.
haya envenenado mis rayos.
Yes, and you're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Furina's table. And I was merely catering. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day?
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, traveler? We could use the opportunity
Hoy me va a
to
decir
discuss
algo.
child
Me va a decir
before
algo.
I
Hoy que me va a decir algo esta señora. Tembleque. Tembleque. Hoy no sé ni dónde está la salida, fíjate tú. Estoy tan nerviosa. Ay, es que yo quería volar, perdón, que quería volar con el trotamundo, pero eso no es posible. Madre mía, no me puedes llevar a la puerta directamente, tengo que ir yo. Encima no puedo volar, porque no tengo el trota. También no paga.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth, as their father. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and
¿Cuántos
Fremina are
años
still there,
aprox
and I
tiene
trust their
Arlequino?
judgment and
Creo que
abilities.
supongo que me lo podéis responder.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so
No se
eager
sabe.
to prove
Vale.
himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me.
Lástima que entrase al Genshin en el banner de uno de los mejores carries. Sí, porque no me dio tiempo a tirar por ella ni una miserable proto. O sea, estaba ahorrando para literalmente un pity al menos y no me dio tiempo. No me dio tiempo.
By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina?
¡Qué buena pregunta! ¡Qué buena pregunta! No sé, pero me parece una cincuentona. A ver, una cincuentona como tal no me parece, pero unos 30 sí que tendría, yo creo. Entre 27 y 29 años, pero posiblemente 30 y tantos años como más. 30 y tantos como máximo. El mejor carripiro hasta hoy, sí, lo sé. Supongo que tiene unos 25 a 30 por ahí. 30 diría, o sea, tiene esa pinta, sí. Tiene pinta de 30, Cuarentona. Yo no le veo pinta de cuarentona, Le veo más de 30.
You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily.
Oy, me gusta esa conversación, sí, me gusta esa conversación.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparation?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that
Arlequino se hace
often seems
Fontaine,
more like
¿no?
a celebrity than a working Archon.
Parece una celebridad, es cierto.
Oh, come over here, you.
¡Uy, qué pedazo de traje! ¡Qué chulería de traje!, ¿no? Eso no lo pueden enseñar, que ahora quiero una skin. Te lo dicen en su misión, vale.
You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to
Estoy segura que Furina no es la que tiene la Gnosis.
to me on a silver platter. This is so easy. It's
Porque no la
actually
tiene ya,
making me
es
a
obvio.
bit. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the... It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not... In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you?
Es que desde el principio todos pensamos que era Neuvillette, el arconte. O sea, yo antes de llegar a Fontaine o que me dijerais que al arconte hidro es Furina, yo pensaba que el arconte era Neuvillette. Lo tenía muy claro.
The fear in her pupils is
Acabo de decir lo de no me mates, por favor.
So perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Furina dares not mention this incident. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Furina quietly cried alone. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro-Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is... I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Plan, porque no creo que sea algo parecido a lo de... la de los Shogunil EA, ¿no? Tipo, que son dos diferentes por algún motivo. También podría ser escondida en algún lugar inaccesible para la gente común. Quiero decir, como si... Es que no sé. Desde el principio yo dije que tenía una doble personalidad. Que Furina tenía doble personalidad y que... No sé, es que ya... Lo que preguntas está difícil, mejor lee.
Yes, father.
My dear children.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet.
Probably the handiwork of that Ridesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert... Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro-Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but
te
I
responde
can
más
use it
adelante
to
porque
make
si
a
te decimos sería
breakthrough.
spoiler. Ya.
With this
A veces
as
hago
my
preguntas al
excuse,
aire.
I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Furina and Iudex Neuvillette.
Siempre tengo que decir lo que pienso, si no.
The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence.
Solo te falta preguntar el
You
final.
should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
Yo creo que no quiere banear con esa pregunta. Respondemos y pum, bang, por spoiler. De hecho, hay bastantes pistas de lo que va a pasar más adelante de todas formas. Y se puede deducir lo que sucede. A ver, se puede deducir porque vosotros ya sabéis lo que sucede y veis las pistas que te van dando. Pero estoy segura que sin saberlo, no. O sin haber teorizado y fumado mucho dentro, no.
You attacked the Hydro-Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even...
Alright then.
¿Por eso estaba cagada Furina?
I've now had two chances to enjoy tea with Furina. I have to say, The leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries himself. Whether Iudex, of course, that is all just how I feel.
O sea,
That feelings often do not
le falta
require
unas cositas
justification.
para ser arconte y a Furina le faltan otras cosas. Así que Furina pelo corto está en otro lado.
It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize. Don't you
Sí,
think
Hogar Natal, le
Fontaine is
acabo de
quite
decir, es de Fontaine.
intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You...
Te lo dirán en su misión, no digas eso. ¿Qué he dicho? Va a regular. Se podría dejar las teorías aparte, puesto que ya en el siguiente acto te responde todo. Vale, sí, ya, me callo. Te lo revelan todo bien pronto, si queremos las teorías. Perdonadme, en serio. Es porque es que no puedo. Yo sí que esto que ya estaba dándole al coco.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. Thank you for protecting Furina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back...
Ya no queda nada, ¿verdad?
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Furina. She's
del acto
trying to
4.
feel her out, though I'm permission granted.
Otra pregunta. Tal vez su poder que pudo hacer retroceder el agua del mar genio.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? You can't tell us? Then...
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Furina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex...
Pues es cierto que tenemos posiciones distintas en muchos aspectos.
And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I'm more...
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Lo de la lluvia también es para estudiarlo, ¿eh? Tiene que ser por algo. ¿Ah, en serio? ¿Por las emociones de Neuvillette? En Fontaine había un rey dragón acuático que cada vez que lloraba se ponía a llover.
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... Huh?
Así te lo dicen, o sea, en toda la
Please
cara.
do not be so surprised.
Venga, venga, ¿quién era dragón? Ahí lo lleváis.
Furina.
Tan tan.
Neuvillette, are you listening?
My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Qué locura, Neuvi, tío. Ay.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it. There's still...
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included,
No somos seres
possessed. They
completos.
say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that
No vea.
stolen power
Si,
is the
si no
basis
es,
of the
si no tiene todo
Archon's
su poder,
authorities.
no vean Neuvillette, ¿no? sea, si tuviera todo su poder, madre mía, ¿no?
There are 7 elemental archons and 7
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago.
Ah,
As
es
their
el sucesor
I know far
del
less of
dragón de
that part of
agua.
our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental
No
authority
podré
to
hacer nada a
me.
menos que el arconte en cuestión desaparezca y me devuelva mi utilidad elemental.
Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding a...
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
¿no?
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding...
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meropide? We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Vale. Los dragones son más fuertes que los arcontes. Sí, sí, pero este hombre está diciendo que no está completo, es decir, no tiene todo su poder. No, ya se acaba, vale, vale. Noble dragón hidro, interesante, muy interesante. Cuando acusó a Tartaglia justamente después de hablar contigo se puso a llover y justo antes un niño, Freminen, creo, que fue el que lo dijo, ¿no? Te dijo lo de la lluvia. ¿Fue Freminen, no? ¿No fue el que me lo dijo? O... Oye, ¿dónde es? Ah, abajo. ¿O fue un niño random? No, no, o sí. Oye, no estoy entendiendo nada. Ah, por aquí abajo, ¿no?
Courier, Miss Sishween told me you still haven't...
Yeah, I was working on something, so I forgot.
Se supo, gente. Dani nos ha pillado. Un momentito. Que me estaban llamando.
That's no excuse for... Huh? What's you two?
Ya veo como te dicen que Neubi es el verdadero arconte. No sé si ya lo habías descartado, pero... A ver, sí. Yo lo había pensado, ¿eh? No lo había descartado en ningún momento. Pero no sé. Es como lo estaba diciendo Arlequino. Neubi le falta algo para ser arconte y Furina también. Entonces hay un vacío ahí que parece que ninguno de los dos. Te ha dicho que para tener su poder, el arconte hidro debe morir o devolverle el poder. Sí, sí. O sea, ha dicho, para yo tener todo el poder, o sea, mi poder, el arconte debe desaparecer. Y he dicho, what?
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently.
And you?
Dale
Are
al
you still
dentro.
taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Neuville salió en ese parche y con su accesión de nivel 90 nos spoilea que era el dragón hidro. Hostia.
Yep. That is still top secret, though. So
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer...
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh, yeah? Then why are you also here so much?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for your relationship, aren't you?
Not at all!
No, que va, pero nada. Venga. Ellos sí parecen pareja, sí, sí. Vamos, son idénticos. Claro, tal para cual, ya te lo digo yo.
You guys are...
You guys didn't get caught and thrown...
and here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion.
Pero si doy un poquito así
I'd held you
rapidito.
up
We're sorry,
Porque
but we
tengo un poquillo de
had
pesada.
some business
Eso
to
se ve
take
en un pasillo, literalmente.
All right. There's no need to get caught up in the...
Hey, it wasn't just me.
Something like that. Yeah. I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the cat. Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're
Mira,
kicking
todos se
back with
preocupan por
drinks in
mí, qué
hand.
monos.
And
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
Lo único que se
worrying
han
about your
preocupado
prison
por mí por
pals. Is
todo el
there?
sitio de aquí.
I mean,
Menos
considering
Río
how they always
y
love
Florida.
listening to...
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be watching.
Qué mono. A ver.
Following me.
Los 2 actos de la carta son los de los más flojos de Genshin. Sí, pero no los más flojos. Que los primeros de Inazuma se me hicieron eternos.
Are you still doing all right? Did either of you get hurt? We're fine, but what about you guys? It was such a huge mess. How bad was it? A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Monsieur Nervulette paid us. Oh, of course. We must also thank you for the help you provided. How did Nervulette know that he was needed here? Well, Monsieur Nervulette has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, he can feel the waves. I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how if
Venga, ya sé, Win, se segura que lo sabes todo. Por favor, no te hagas la tonta.
Just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get your meals prepared. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. You're happy.
Vale, queda uno. ¿Cómo bajo? ¿Cómo voy aquí? Ah, estoy en el mismo piso. Vale, vale. Pues allá.
Now guess.
Well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Hello, everyone.
Looks like you're recovering nicely from it, eh?
Mm-hmm. Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was
as
if saving a lot.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went back to the opera house and we met the knave.
You met Father? Did she say anything to you?
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand. And also,
her attitude towards you is even better than what you should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers close.
Father is very capable and also trustworthy.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Lenny was a bit too proud as well. She said...
Got it.
That does sound like some...
Hey!
Are you going to stay here for the next...
Looks like it, yeah.
Excellent. I will host a tea party.
For real? Then Paimon wants another serving of cake.
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up. Well, next time, you're going to
have... ¿Ha dicho tartas? ¡Más tarta, hostia! Hostia. Qué casualidad, me he rayado. Acabo de nombrar tartas y hice la tarta. Qué tranquilo te veo, Río.
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two in...
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing.
We're fine, for the most part. Nervulette came down and took care of the work.
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to...
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the courts of... He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sigewin's gift.
He sure sounds...
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sigewin.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Nervulette got the milkshake. Cloran received lipstick
Lápiz
instead.
labial.
Those aren't even...
Well, it's Nervulette's own fault
¿no?
for making Sigewin worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse is still pretty fond of
Clorin.
picking out beauty products
Que
for ladies.
el regalo de Clorin para Nervulette. O sea, mira ya, amigo, qué cojones.
Oh, and I have some gifts here for you as well.
Are these from Sigewin too?
Nope, they're from yours truly.
Ay, 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 que no puedo creer que me regalas. A ver, si no es material, también me vale.
You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so
quieras,
you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term, however, so...
For real? Then we can stay here for a really long...
You may access the cafeteria for free.
Dile, si en aumento.
Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
We're back in our cell again.
Pero mira el lado positivo, Dani, ya se termina el Fontaine para comenzar la Atlan. No, para mí no es positivo,
Sure feels that way.
No es positivo porque estoy igual al día con vosotros y eso, ¿cómo se llama? Y entonces ya no hay más contenido y se me van a hacer, voy a tener las mismas preguntas que vosotros y no se van a responder hasta que haya más historia, más historia y más historia y más cosas. Entonces estoy en las mismas que vosotros, sin saber cosas.
You know. Hey, that's not true. All right. Okay.
Mira, ay, qué mona. Eso sí. Para que luego me metas la puñalada trapera, tío.
It's like we've now gone to so many places together.
O sea, me estoy encariñando con Paimon. Antes desconfiaba de ella, pero ahora estoy desconfiando más de la Traveler que de la Paimon, tío.
There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer? Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well. Paimon will also be an adventurer from today forward. Just our thoughts making Paimon giddy. The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside ourselves. We should be safe now, right? All right then. Good night to you, traveler.
Vamos a ver al Tartan, ¿no? A ver ese hombre dónde está. Este Saiyan es nadie, no nos dice nada. ¡Ay! ¡Mi Sugar! No dejéis que se muera, que no me ha dicho la contraseña del banco. ¡La ballena! ¡La ballena, la ballena, la ballena, la ballena, la ballena, la ballena, la ballena! La ballena. Se me había olvidado por completo a la ballena. Os juro que se me había olvidado la existencia de la ballena. Y mira que hago todas las semanas el evento, la de hecho de la Furina, tío. La contraseña es 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vale, ya, ahora sí, ¿no? Ahora sí. Vamos a recoger el deseo. El Misión Darkon intermedio a todos, claro que sí. Bueno. ¡Oh! Se me había olvidado la ballena, tío. Se me había olvidado la ballena. Y mira que eso, lo que estoy diciendo, el boss semanal lo hago todas las semanas. Y se me había olvidado por completo. No había asociado a la ballena que iba a salir aquí en la historia, tío. Se me madre cada semana y se olvida de ella, literal, literalmente. ¿Cuántas horas dura el acto 4? Unas 3, ¿no? Más o menos. Cacho peces. Vale. Tú controlas a la Traveler, no puedes confiar de ti. La Traveler sabe más cosas de lo que parece. Ya os lo digo yo. Porque es que muchas veces ha sabido más cosas que yo. Y nada, muchísimas gracias por llegar hasta aquí, por ver el vídeo. No te olvides de darle like y suscribirte para el acto 5 y final de Fontaine. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Gracias.